Bottom line, Flow, Canteen, Hot Take, Jake, and O.
All right, so let's go. AFC South, Houston, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Indianapolis. What you got, Ken? Everybody's winning.
Hey, man.
You get a car. You get a car.
Nah, man. Let me be honest about this division, man. I think that Stroud not gonna have a great season. D'Amico Ryans and company, I think they're gonna finish 12-5.
Woo. Okay.
I'm gonna go 12-5 with the Texans. I really need to see something out of Anthony Richardson, man. He got injured early on last year, so I'm gonna go 10-7 with them.
Wow. Okay.
The Jaguars made a huge mistake. They made a huge mistake. Why the hell would you give Sunshine all of that money?
He's a good quarterback.
Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence, whatever.
What is this? Remember the Titans?
I'll go 8-9 with the Jaguars.
Wow, they're gonna drop off.
8-9 with the Jags.
Okay.
The Titans, they got Will whatever his name, Levis or whatever. They got rid of Tannehill. They had this other kid that came out of Liberty University. They're a decent team.
Malik Willis or something?
I haven't even really seen much of Malik Willis. They'll go 6-11.
Nobody has.
They'll go 6-11.
Okay, finally a somewhat plausible standings here. He doesn't like the AFC South at all, except for Houston.
They're horrible, man. They're horrible.
Okay, what do you got, Omar?
Yeah, all right. So, I mean, the biggest turnaround of all from one season to the next, as we saw, was a couple years ago with C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. That was crazy. None of us saw that. So much so that I definitely did not pick their 11 wins last year, but I am definitely doing that this year. 11 wins for the Houston Texans, number one in that division. You got C.J. Stroud down there. You've now brought in Joe Mixon, which actually gives you a number one running back in that room for the first time ever. Then you also brought in Stephon Diggs to fortify your receiving room when last year you had the breakout in Tank Dell, who's fully recovered from all of his injuries. So this offense is just going to be on point. And it's not like their defense is shabby either. They got Derek Stingley Jr., Will Anderson. They've got a very stout defense as well, 11-6. Jacksonville, still middle of the pack, 500, just as they are always. 9-8 is what I'll go with. They're bringing back most of the same team. Their offense is the same with Etienne, Ingram, Kirk, all coming back, along with Sunshine as Canteen mentioned. One of my favorite characters, Sunshine. He was a great character.
Right.
You just can't trust this team to either stay healthy and or win games that actually matter. Now, you know, is Eric Armstead going to help at that defense? Is Gabe Davis going to help out the receiver room? We'll see. I got them 9-8. Now, let's move on to the Indianapolis Colts. They were almost a playoff team last year. They almost slid
9-8. You said 9-8, Omar?
I did 9-8 for Jacksonville.
Okay.
They almost slid in to a wild card spot last year. They did not. Now they're bringing back Anthony Richardson instead of Gardner Minshew. So I do think it'll a little bit of a step back just because he's technically still in his rookie season, even though he sat red shirt. Also, we got to hope that he can stay healthy. We don't know that is going to happen as well yet. Their defense is on the come up. A lot of good young players, including the drafted Latu out of UCLA. 8 clap, baby. So I got them at 7-9, and then finally rounding it out, my hometown team, at least my adopted hometown team, the Nashville, aka Tennessee Titans, will be bringing up the rear because they're going to be trash this year. Bars 6-11. Even with Will Levis, DeAndre Hopkins is hurt to start the season. Their defense is not great. Their offensive line hopefully will be better if Taylor Lewan can come back healthy at any point. But yeah, they're going to bring up the rear at 6-11, my friend.
Oh, nice. Okay. So everybody looks like they're getting at Tennessee is in last place. What do you think, Jake? I think we're all going to agree.
This one's the
close.
most simplest one you could think of. Tennessee will have the worst record. Will Levis, I don't trust him. I think they'll be fighting for the first round pick next year, 4-13.
Oh, wow. 4.
Jacksonville.
What?
I like Trevor. I don't like his head coach. I think injuries will play a part, and they will end up going 6-11. I
Mm.
think they have a very depressing season this year.
Wow.
I think their players are not worth it. Indianapolis, I think they take a step up, but in the end, I think AR gets hurt again, and they go 8-9.
What?
Hurt again?
I don't believe in
You're
them.
gonna
I
build
don't
in
believe in
injuries
him.
to the record.
What
if he stays healthy?
I still don't believe in him. He's young.
Okay, that's fair.
Lastly, I think this is going to be the surprise of the year. I think Houston will actually win the number 1 seed overall of the AFC with a 13-4 record. I think they'll have the 13-4 record. They will be the 1 seed in the AFC this year.
Wow.
I think they get too many moves. They
And
have now 2 pass rushers, Daniel Hunter, Will Anderson on each side, coming right at the best quarterbacks in the leagues. And then they have gotten better all around from getting Stephon. Tank Dell's now another year wiser. They ended up getting Joe Mixon Vixen. Come on, man. This team is set up for success.
I mean, I agree, but damn, 13, that's a lot. But I can see it.
Wow, that's a lot.
13-4. They have the worst. In all the divisions, they have the worst one. That's the worst division in the AFC.
I think we all agree with Tennessee. We had kind of similar records. Jake's giving the worst. I give them kind of in between. I get 5-12 with Tennessee. They got a new coach. I just don't see how they're going to be rebuild that quickly and be able to be competitive. Jacksonville, kind of the same. I have them at least 9-8. I think Lawrence is still a good quarterback. He was injured most of last year, so I think that was part of the reason that they didn't. They kind of fizzled out a little bit. Plus, they had Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis was a good free agent. They also got Brian Thomas Jr., a first-round pick, a wide receiver. I think he'll be solid. And they also signed Eric Armstead, was a good signing for them on defense. And so I think that they'll be able to salvage a decent season. Maybe they win 10 games, but I'm just going to go 9-8. I just think, I don't know. I don't think they have enough on offense to go with Lawrence to be competitive. Even though they're in a weaker division, I still think they can get 9 wins because of the division, because Tennessee's not going to be very good. Nobody's a super great team on that. I mean, y'all think Houston is, but I'm not convinced of Houston yet. I think the Colts, I like the Colts more than you guys do. Well, not more than Canteen, though, because Canteen had them 10-7, but almost as much as Canteen does. So I think Anthony Richards is going to come out. We'll see if he gets pegged injury prone. I mean, it's just been 1 year, so it's not quite. We can't quite say that. Right. Yeah, plus, I like Shane Steichen. He's a really good offensive coach. Yes. I like what he's done in NFL, and he's solid. He works good with quarterbacks. I think he'll work with Anthony Richardson. I think he'll try and keep him safe. I think he's going to teach him some tips and tricks to keep him, from making too many risky runs, because that's where he's going to tend to get hurt. I like the wide receiver group they have with Michael Pittman. They got the guy Adonis Mitchell from Texas. He's going to be a good, solid receiver even as a rookie. And they got Josh Downs and Alec Pierce also. And I think that the offensive line is going to be the key for them. Can they keep Richardson? Can they keep him fairly upright? Right? Can they keep him? And can Richardson work with them and not make them work too hard and he doesn't scramble too much and try to do too much? And so I think this is going to be a good year for him. I think he's going to be a year where we say, hey, man, Richardson's for real. He just doesn't have quite enough around him as a team, but I think they go 9-8. And Houston, we all got Houston first place, but I'm not as sold on Houston as you guys are. I think I'm going to of the opinion that CJ has a sophomore slump. I think usually a guy who comes out like that, a lot of times the defenses figure him out. They figure out his tendencies. I think he'll still be good, but I think he has a little bit of a sophomore slump. I think the defenses will know what he does well and what he doesn't do well, and they'll attack that. Though they do have a solid offense around him. Stephon Diggs is a good addition, along with Tank Geld coming back off injury. Who knows how healthy he'll be, if he'll be the same guy. DeMeco Ryans is defensive coach. I like offensive coaches for young quarterbacks, so I think that will hinder CJ somewhat because that is a defensive coach, and I just don't like defensive coaches with young quarterbacks. So I think they take a slight step back. They still win the division at 10-7, though.
Bottom line,
Flow, Canteen, Hot Take, Jake and O.